We're back with a Fox News alert. The Biden administration considering extreme action as the crisis at the border worsens. The Washington Post reports officials are considering flying migrants to the Canadian border for processing due to southern facilities being overwhelmed.
The administration has refused to give reporters access to the facilities and still won't call it a crisis. They say it's under control.
Cameras were not allowed when DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas visited the El Paso border along with 4 senators. Officials said the restrictions were for privacy and COVID-19 precautions. Fascinating excuse. Let's bring in Kayleigh McEnany, former White House press secretary, Fox News analyst. Kayleigh, thank you for sharing a little bit of your Saturday morning with us. So what we see going on with the border here at the border is a disgrace. You see Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying, "Oh, it's under control. This is a humanitarian approach to things." Now you see, Representative Linda Sanchez coming out and saying, "Oh, I don't think journalists should really be allowed in there to see these processing centers where kids are." What is going on exactly?
Thanks, Jed. Great to join you. We know exactly what's going on because we had Senator Chris Murphy share with us what was going on yesterday. For those who aren't aware of who Senator Murphy is, he happens to be a Democrat from Connecticut, but he got access to these facilities, sent out a tweet, good on him for being transparent and honest about what he saw. He said he saw a 13-year-old girl huddled in the corner, sobbing uncontrollably because she was terrified. He said he saw hundreds of kids jammed together. If there were cameras in there, we would have an endless loop, certainly on fair channels, of the images from there. You might have other channels who bury the news, but that's what we would see. They have a crisis, whether they say it or not, and the media deserves to see what is going on. The American people deserve to see it as well.
Kayleigh, help me reconcile a statement and a truth, or a statement and a fact, if I might. The statement comes from the Biden administration saying they are, quote, going to bring truth and transparency back to government, calling themselves, I believe, the most transparent administration in history. At the same time, I believe this week, Joe Biden is preparing to give his first formal press conference. I think it's one of the longest we've ever seen from a sitting president, from inauguration to his first formal press conference. Can we reconcile this truth in this statement?
Yes, well, we knew that that was always a farce. All you had to do was look at the campaign strategy, which was to stay in the basement, to not see the light of day. And we knew that that is what we were expecting in a Biden presidency. You're right. It's a 100-year record to wait this long to have a press conference. Not only that, a joint address to Congress. Every other president, from Clinton to Bush to President Trump to President Obama, had a joint address to Congress. That's what presidents do in their first year instead of a State of the Union, and Biden hasn't done that. And that, to me, is really puzzling because that's an opportunity for him to just solely lay out his positive agenda for the country. What is very interesting is we have a soundbite presidency. You see him for brief moments at a time, little snippets. Even his speech yesterday was, I think 5 minutes. You never see him for longer than that. It is a really interesting dynamic going on. You've got to ask the question why.
Kayleigh, thanks for being on this morning, and welcome to Fox. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Pete.
Very much so. And I want to get you talked about brief moments. There was a brief moment yesterday that we all saw of Joe Biden boarding the plane. It was one slip, it was 2 slips, and then it was more than a slip. And there's been varying ways in which it's been covered. But I know you remember how the media covered when President Trump walked slowly down a ramp. Here's a reminder from June of 2020. Listen.
Maybe he just has a hard time going down a gently sloping ramp. But do you see something possibly neurological that could be throwing off his balance?
The president himself is having momentary stumbles, momentary lapses, and looks straining for a word.
So, Kayleigh, here's the New York Times. This is just one of many examples we could have used this morning. Then versus now. The New York Times in June of 2020 saying Trump's halting walk down ramp raises new health questions. Now, New York Times, Biden doing 100% fine after tripping while boarding Air Force One. The White House said it was the wind. The media has run with that narrative. Help us break down the ways in which they analyze clips like the one we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I can't say it's surprising. We all knew that they wouldn't cover this, but I'll never forget my deputy press secretary Judd Deere, who had traveled with the president to West Point that weekend when he walked down that slippery ramp, and he said, we're getting a few inquiries about this. It's not a big deal. Surely it'll blow over. It ended up being a days-long news cycle with clips like you just showed, asking about neurological damage with President Trump. It got to the point where after I think a week, the president said, "I just got to address this on the rally stage and make light of it." But the interesting thing is the media knew there was nothing wrong with President Trump. This is a man who stood on the stage and would give 2-hour rallies, did 5 at a time in the days leading into the election. But what they did to him was a real travesty, and their refusal to cover Joe Biden just exposes themselves.
Yeah, quite a disparity there. Some of these people with big microphones really should be embarrassed, and yet not so much. Thank you, Kaylee.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.